Hello students, welcome once again to my class and I just welcome you as usual and I try to help you in your studies. Uh, I do not claim very big things, but whatever experience and knowledge I have, I want to share so that you do very well in your career, because 10th is very important, a stage which decides the future of the career. So you have to concentrate and give maximum time to your studies. So in through this stage and in your studies, I share my knowledge and experience for your benefit if it is helping you to remember the important points whenever you hear the videos. It will help you whatever you have learned from books and from the teachers of your school. So this is the only objective. So student, today the topic is chemical coordination in plants. So I just pull the board little ahead so that you can see it clearly. So chemical coordination in plants. So what is it? It sounds very complicated and big, but it is very simple. As you just can visualize that wherever there is a coordination, movement takes place of the impulses from the brain to spinal cord in all the nervous system. What is happening? We are moving from one place to another because we cannot prepare our food, but plants prepare their own food. They need not move from one place to another, and so this is the big difference. But is it true that there is no movement in plants? No, it is not true. Movements are there as a response to stimulus, to certain stimuli, and there are internal movements also in the plants, and this is because of the chemicals, that is phytohormones, which are called, the hormones are called phytohormones. So these are the plant hormones which are responsible for the movements in plants. Movements is, as I said, certain parts of the plants, they bend, they twist, they elongate. So that is the movement in plants. And in animals, it is so complicated. So there are various hormones for these functions. But there is a difference in plant hormones and your animal hormones, because plant hormones, that is why called phytohormones. They are very simple chemical substances, but animal hormones are very complicated, and your plant hormones can diffuse through xylem and phloem only, and animal hormones can diffuse through blood. And plant hormones are almost present in all these plant cells, but your animal hormones are present in the endocrine glands only. So these are the major differences between plant hormones, phytohormones, and the animal hormones. And the movements are taking place. Growth is also taking place. So there are two types of growth, two types of movements: growth dependent movement and growth independent movement. So these types of movements are taking place, but the chemicals which are responsible for these movements in plants, movements of the parts of the plants and growth, are these hormones: your auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, ethylene, and abscisic acid. Auxin is the powerful growth hormone, even at a very low concentration. And first of all, F.W. Wendt studied about auxin, and chemically it is IAA, indole 3 acetic acid. This is oxygen chemical, indole 3 acetic acid. So, students, if you want to remember the chemical name of this oxygen, indole 3 acetic acid, this is IAA. So oxygen is very important. It also helps growth by cell elongation at the tip of the root and shoot, and it also delays aging of the leaves. So these are the important functions of the oxygen. It also helps in formation of fruits without fertilization, and those fruits are called parthenogenic fruit. This is because of the oxygen. Then we come to gibberellin. These are also promoting, this hormone is also promoting growth at the internodes by elongation of cells only. So both oxygen and gibberellin are promoting growth by elongation of cells, and it also helps in preventing aging, and some similar functions are there, but main difference is there, it is promoting growth at the internodes. And cytokinin is also promoting growth, but not by elongation of cells, but by cell division. So this is the difference between other two. Cytokinin is always promoting growth by cell division, even in the non-meristematic region. So this is the important role of cytokinin. Ethylene is the only hormone which is found in gas state as a gas in normal conditions, and it is responsible for ripening of the fruits. So the site of production and the site of action is the fruit. So it is same, unlike the other hormones. The site of production and site of action is same, unlike other hormones. So this is the role of ethylene, which is responsible for ripening of the fruits. So it is massively used in agriculture. And then the abscisic acid. See, there is a balance also, because if growth is or movement is unlimited, then it will be impossible to exist. So there has to be a check, a control, which is done by abscisic acid, which is also known as growth retarding hormone, not promoting hormone, but growth retarding hormone. And in short, it is called ABA, abscisic acid. So it inhibits the growth of the stem, and is also called the stress hormone because it increases the tolerance of the plants. So these are the phytohormones, students, which are responsible for all these movements and growth in plants. But actually, the response towards a stimulus is resulting into the growth or the movement of a part of the plant. So those movements as a response to a stimulus in the direction of the stimulus is called the tropic movements or the tropism. So there can be your phototropism, which is the growth of a part of a plant or a shoot towards the light. You have generally known or read that whenever there is a plant in a dark room, the shoot grows towards the window from where the light is coming. So why this is happening? Because of oxygen is sensitive to light. So it comes at the shaded part, it accumulates at the shaded part, and the more elongation of cells will take place in the shaded part. So the front part, the part which is receiving the light, is bending towards the light. because the cell elongation is more at the back side, at the shaded side. So this is the cause of bending the shoot or bending the flower towards the light. So that is the phototropism. And then the hydrotropism, your roots in aquatic plants, roots move towards the water. So that is the response towards the stimulus, which is the water. So that is hydrotropism. And if it is moving away from the stimulus, that is negative tropism. And similarly, your geotropism, if it is movement is towards the earth, towards the gravity, like the movement of the root, which generally goes deep in the soil, so that is positive geotropism. And if the root or the shoot, which is away, growing away from the gravity, that is negative geotropism. So similarly, students, there are other tropic movements like thigmotropism. Thigmotropism means response because of the touch stimuli. So some plants twine around some support or some other plant and start growing, like the leaf tendril and the stem tendril. So in place of leaf, the tendril grows and twines around the support and the plant starts growing there. And the stem tendril, which from a node or internode on the internode, the plant starts growing and twining around the support and starts growing. So this is the this is what is taking place in thigmotropism, a response to the touch stimuli. And then your chemotropism, the chemical reaction is causing some movement. Like in case of pollen tube, the pollen is when it falls on the stigma, it develops into a tube because some chemical reaction takes place on the stigma because of some enzyme and some sugary substances. So this growth is known as the chemotropism, because this is because of some chemical reaction. So the best example is the growth of the pollen tube. So students, these are the different tropic movements which are taking place in the plants. So namely they are phototropism, hydrotropism, geotropism, thigmotropism and chemotropism. And there is another kind, that is heliotropism, which takes place in the sunflower. The flower always moves in the direction of the movement of the sun from east to west. So that is also because of the oxygen, accumulation of the oxygen at the shaded part. So these are the tropic movement, students. So I end my topic here and I hope that this will help you in your studies. So wish you all the best and thank you very much.